years ago, salt came into my life and saved it. When I was 25, I started to suffer from daily headaches, which over the next 18 years turned into chronic migraine. If everyone could put their hands up who has suffered from migraine or knows someone that does, besides me, so at least half the room, which is understandable because 1 in 7 people in the UK happen to suffer from migraine. And throughout the world, it's ranked as the 7th most disabling disease. Now, if migraine was just head pain, that would be one thing. But it's not. There's all sorts of other symptoms, like nausea, diarrhea, inability to speak properly, like me on some of these challenges, vision loss, sensitivity to noise and light, which is why you often find migraineurs take themselves away to a dark room for days at a time until they go. But you can't live like that. Well, you can't live like that and go to work anyway. So throughout the years, I've tried all sorts of different treatments to try and get rid of them, from holistic therapies to diet elimination through to being under the care of a neurologist. But the medical profession doesn't actually know what causes migraine. So they're giving you heart treatments, epilepsy drugs, antidepressants, all really strong drugs with really strong side effects. And especially some of them for me were particularly strong, one of them being Topamax, which we renamed Dopamax because it put me 15 seconds behind what everybody else's experience was. But to be honest, when you're in chronic pain daily, you are out of kilter with the rest of the world. You're not quite in the same moment. You don't quite have the same emotions like happiness or even sadness and upset. It's just not the same. You're not quite in the room making new relationships or strengthening existing ones. You're just not quite there. So to keep me sane over the years, I've always been very active online looking for new treatments to help me from... No, I've not said that right. Yes, looking for new treatments to help me, especially in the dark times when the pain was up here for weeks at a time. And more so over the last 6 years because I've had a little girl and I don't want her memory of me to be, Mummy always had a headache. But that research led me to find a neuroscientist whose speciality was changing the behaviour of brain cells. But she also happened to suffer from chronic migraine. And these overlapped and led her to be able to create her theory on what causes migraine and how to treat it. She believes that migraineurs have an ancient version of the human brain. And as such, we need a lot of extra voltage because it can't cope with modern day life. And we need to maintain good electrolytes with a massive increase in the amount of salt that we eat. Now, following this protocol hasn't cured me because it's not a disease, but by watching what I eat and drink every day and taking this big increase in salt, I no longer sit there in pain observing what's going on around me. I'm now an active participant again like I used to be. I can do this SPEAKup challenge, I can learn Spanish again, I train 3 times a week. Last year I ran a half marathon, whereas 2 years ago, going to work in a day and then maybe doing the weekly shop at night time, that'd be it for the night, it'd be bedtime. So I don't carry painkillers anymore. Everything's covered in salt. But in the latest version of Angela's book, I could give my testimonial, which was how well I feel now. And I no longer have that fear that my little girl's memory of me is I always had a migraine. Thank you.